President-elect Trump and some of his cabinet selections don't agree on key issues, according to the Wall Street Journal. His choice for budget director, Congressman Mick Mulvaney, has opposed raising the debt ceiling, whereas Trump campaigned on cutting taxes. Some of his selections also previously voiced support for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which Trump opposes. This coming as Trump's transition team announced Thomas Bossert will advise the president-elect on Homeland Security. Bossert previously worked in President George W. Bush's administration. And joining us is former New York Lieutenant Governor Betsy McCoy. Betsy, good to see you here this morning. Thank you. Busy morning indeed. What does all of this mean for the incoming administration to sort of see these disagreements?
Well, Donald Trump does not want a gaggle of yes men surrounding him. He wants to hear sound differences of opinion. But on the issue of the budget director designate, Mick Mulvaney, on that one, Trump will get the better of the argument because Trump promised during the campaign to slash taxes. It is key to his commitment to achieving 3 to 4% growth, and eventually the deficit will come down. In some of the other areas, I would look for more give and take, more disagreement. But contrary to what the Wall Street Journal suggested, I don't think you're going to see any rogue agencies under Donald Trump. Think about it. This time, Americans elected a president who is an experienced manager, a CEO. He manages a vast international operation, so he knows how to do this, unlike his predecessor, who really had no management experience coming into the White House.
But still, of course, Jack, this is giving his critics room to say, see, I mean, look at this, their views are not aligned.
Some critics are looking for any reason to really bring up anything right now. I think if you look at President Trump, or President-elect Trump, you'll notice a man who, when he's in a room, in a meeting room, he really wants to bring out the best in people. And I think that's been definitely established throughout the conversation that you've heard from his current administration that he selected, but people that have worked alongside him, those that have been in the business rooms with him, in the meeting rooms. And I think that's what's really important. We want a president-elect who has people that has different views so that the American people can be represented. You can't be represented if everyone agrees with you.
And Leah, the Wall Street Journal, in its front page, Trump team differs on issues. In the piece, it says, but the divisions within the Trump administration on many key issues are notably stark and numerous, and they certainly lay them out.
Right, and of course critics are going to say that he came in with a lot of branding but not with a lot of platform. But from my experience in the military, the best leaders that I worked with were the ones who would really take everyone's opinion into account. They didn't want just one opinion. They wanted to hear every aspect of each situation that they were trying to assess, so that then they could make the best decision. And from what I've learned, what I've heard of Donald Trump's leadership style, and even if you watched him on The Apprentice, which I did, you would see him basically listening to his advisors, listening to everyone's opinion, and then making a decision. So is that what you think he'll be doing as president?
Well, exactly. And in some areas, he has a very clear path ahead, such as the tax cuts. I hope he comes right out of the gate with those. They are key to boosting our prosperity.
Important. All right, I want to get to this morning as well, because this will certainly be big news this morning. Secretary of State John Kerry is set to speak this morning about the Middle East peace process. I spoke with David Keyes last night, the spokesman for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, on the Kelly file, and here was his reaction about the upcoming speech.
What would really be helpful to the peace process is if the Obama administration actually asked from the Palestinians to recognize Israel as a Jewish state, to meet with Israel's prime minister, who has repeatedly offered even to go to the parliament in Ramallah for peace talks. It would be very helpful if there was greater pressure on the Palestinian government to stop paying anyone who murders an Israeli. Those are the real barriers to peace. And unfortunately, far too much time has been put pressuring Israel in diplomatic forums.
This speech is coming almost a week after the U.S. allowed a resolution to pass at the United Nations, which criticizes Israel's Jewish settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Betsy, do you think this will complicate future relations for the U.S. with Israel? I mean, it's already been
no,
icy.
Because President-elect Donald Trump has already made it clear that the United States stands with Israel. And what Obama did in the UN was stabbed Israel in the back and also betrayed our nation's longstanding friendship with Israel. I predict that Democrats and Republicans are going to strongly back President-elect Trump's plan to move the capital from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem as a first step. What I'm worried about is the other betraying steps that Obama may take between now and when he leaves office.
But I mean, what do you make of those accusations? I mean, that's huge. I mean, they're saying they have ironclad evidence that the Obama administration is behind the push for this resolution.
Well, I hear other people who are on the inside talking about what Obama may do next to betray and weaken Israel.
Yeah, I mean, a huge story still developing there, and a lot of accusations on the table, and they doubled down on them there. That was the spokesperson for Netanyahu.
Well, you know, at the UN, Israel has always been challenged. You know, back in 1967, the Arab coalition tried to expel Israel from the UN. So, you know, what we have is basically a lame duck president, a lame duck administration, allowing things like this to happen instead of pulling the plug on this resolution.
So that being said, does it matter what John Kerry says today?
I think at this point, Israel is going to continue coming out strongly, but at the same time, you know, what John Kerry has to say today, you've had a few years at this point. 22 days until inauguration.
3 weeks.
And now you're going to lay out a plan forward towards peace.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, people are looking to the
Bill Jack, the world will be listening.
And what's the message to our allies? I mean, you know, I do a lot of work at the United Nations, and that's a place where you would hope to see people come together as one. But, you know, I think this is bad for America. I think we need...
Governor Huckabee last night saying the UN's not even a legitimate forum anymore.
The UN is there, in my opinion, for humanitarian needs in crisis. And also, you know, if we have a huge security issue, I think the UN has a place. But, you know, I think now at this time, this is probably the weakest point that I've seen the United Nations.
Has President Obama been a friend to Israel?
Unfortunately, not the friend that I would have liked to see.
Interesting. All right. Heavy stuff. And by the way, I always like to give you a little sneak preview. Dagan's sitting down. She just ran up from the 5 a.m. studio. So we'll get to her in just a little bit. But a lot of stuff going on this morning. It's going to be a busy day. I mean, it's hard to believe it's a holiday shortened week. And there is so much news.
Yes.
Considering the transition team is being put together. John Kerry speaking this morning.